I kept an old motorcycle for trips to the river. I rode it mostly to my favorite spot 40 kilometers away. I never came back without fish, and the place was remote, so it was a pleasure to sit alone. I found this place in my youth and never showed it to anyone. I only went there myself. That day I packed up and went fishing. I put the motorcycle, as always, near a big pine tree. I gathered some brushwood, sticks for the fire, and, while the sun was still up, caught some live fish and some fish for the soup. Then I set up nets, slingshots for pike, and built a fire. I started to cook my soup. It was already dark outside. I had dinner, thought a little more about life, about good times, and dozed off. I woke up because I heard someone's voice. It was coming from the river and seemed to be in the middle of it. "I've found you. Do you think this is your place? Come here, to the river." I did not understand anything, and I was not fully awake yet. I wiped my eyes and slowly walked towards the water. "Who are you? What do you want? Go into the water. Don't be afraid." I took a couple steps, looked down. "Oh, I'm already knee-deep in water. When did I have time?" "Go deeper." These words sounded in such a chilling, afterlife voice that my hairs moved on my head. I looked ahead, and in the light of the moon there was no one on the river. The voice was there, but I couldn't see who was speaking. Everything inside went cold. Who would stand in the river in the middle of the night and ask to go into the water? I turned around and, ducking down, began to quietly climb out of the water. "What are you doing? Where? Come back. I want to show you another fishing spot. Better than this one." Well, I thought, hurry to the fire, and a bigger fire. So I did. While walking from the river, I was tempted to turn around and try to see who was joking. But I restrained myself with all my might. Something told me it was better not to do it. All night I sat by the fire, whispering prayers under my nose, and as soon as it dawned I began to hastily collect the gear. I walked a little along the shore, thinking that maybe there would be traces of yesterday's guest, but nothing. Where could he appear in the water? I didn't go to this place again, but found another one, no worse than the previous one. Only after such a night meeting I started to take my neighbor, also an amateur fisherman, with me.